Oh yeah, the name of the podcast is At the Bench, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Of course, I don't do bench work, but hey,
You said
And
what?
neither do I.
I don't do bench work.
Don't you? Don't you?
No.
Don't
Well,
you? Don't you?
Don't you?
Blah.
but
I think you
don't
do.
you?
I think you do. I
I
think you
kind of
do.
hate chess, but it's my weakest one.
It's everybody's. No worries. It's everybody's. I get it. Do you guys want a some intro theme music?
Oh,
we want a
Is
we want a
there-
theme song. Are you ready? Let's do this. All right, guys. Welcome to the very first, the one and only podcast of At the Bench with Scientists Who Live. I am Dr. Dominique Stevens. Really excited to start this. So, for being it the very first one, listen. I guess let me talk about Scientists Who Live. Scientists Who Live is a community of scientists and lifters. I started it one day when I was at the gym thinking, are there other scientists out there like me? And come to find out there are, but there wasn't a platform for it. So why not me? Why not me? Why not I start this platform and bring this community together? And then as the community progressed and grew, I knew that I wanted to expand and start mentoring other people. And now we have a whole mentor group of amazing scientists who are also in the gym with me, lifting, getting strong, getting fit. And we're here. We're gonna start. Man, I'm gonna have to edit that out. I fucked up. Anyways, so we got a group of great mentors. They're part of our mentorship group, and we decided we're gonna start a podcast to get the information out there easier to everyone because not everybody wants that one-on-one mentorship. They just want to listen to a podcast, which nowadays everybody does, right? So
and it's great while you're doing cardio.
is it? I don't do cardio. I don't do cardio. That's something
I only do cardio when I'm listening to podcasts.
there you go. I listen to podcasts when I'm doing long drives. That's what I do. I love very long drives. Me and my car. My car's name is Judy. Her full name is Big Booty Judy. Is because she's a hatchback. Okay, so but that's besides the point. I mean, yeah,
I thought we were gonna keep the side thoughts up to a minimum.
we were. I don't know what happened. So
we just told us that this podcast is rated explicit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably.
Rated R.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rated R.
Rated R. So yeah. So first, I'm gonna introduce myself. Like I said, I'm Dominique, and I am the creator of Scientists Who Live. I just recently got my PhD in biochemistry. They actually just sent my degree to my parents' house. I don't ever get to own any of my degrees. So, and currently I'm a postdoc at the University of Texas, working on modulating the innate immune response under different viral and carcinoma stresses. So, and I do a lot of microscopy, and I love taking images. They're really cool. Anyways, but that's my introduction. This first podcast, we're gonna talk about how we all manage our time when it comes to lifting, doing research, managing schoolwork, and trying to stay healthy, stay fit. Because that time management it's not as easy as some people may make it look. So next, I'll want to introduce the whole cast and crew. First, we'll start off with Sam. If you want to hit us with some, Sam.
Yep. So hi, I am Dr. Samnika Halsey. I am a assistant professor at the University of Missouri and the principal investigator of the Halsey ACE Lab, so Applied Computational Ecology. My research basically revolves around using models to understand the emergence of tick-borne diseases, more specifically working on Lyme disease. I've also worked a little bit with chronic wasting disease in deer, as well as a little bit of plant conservation.
Nice, nice, nice. Love it. All right, Trevor, hit us with it. What's up?
Hi, I'm Trevor. Right now, I'm actually a student at Arizona State, finishing my undergrad and starting the initial process of applying to grad school. So I'm looking forward to that little journey. Right now, I'm actually in industry, in the medical device industry, helping get clients' products to the emergency rooms, to the hospitals, to get it into the help patients out. I also do some science communication and public outreach. So I run my own little group here that focuses on increasing community participation in STEM fields. So that's what I'm doing. That's my journey.
Nice, nice. Love it. Love it. All right, Rebecca or Becca, hit us with it. What's up?
Hi guys, I'm Dr. Rebecca Wellings, but it's Becky or Becca. Like I think my mom is the only person that calls me Rebecca Wellings, but and that's only when I've been bad. But I am a postdoctoral associate at the University of Florida. I'm originally from the UK. I moved here to join the group of Malou Tanzi at the CTR&D at UF, which is the Center for Translational Research in Neurodegenerative Disease. And our group specializes in the role of systemic inflammation in neurodegenerative diseases, primarily Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, as well as frontal temporal dementia. We're particularly interested in the role of gut inflammation in the progression of those diseases. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here.
That's amazing. Love it. That's great. All right. Last but certainly not least, we got Kojo here.
Hello, my name is Kojo Bonsu. I am a PhD student at the University of California, Irvine, and my research is primarily in computational modeling as it applies to biosystems or like chemical systems as well. And my lab predominantly uses stochastic models to kind of intersect with the medical field and try and see how we can like find new data searches and new methods and techniques to analyze biomedical data. But personally, I'm a chemical engineer by training, so a lot of this stuff is new to me, but I'm happy to be here as well.
Nice, nice, nice. Sounds like really cool stuff. All right, like I said, this first episode, we're here to talk about time management. How do we manage our time, the gym? I don't know who wants to go. You guys want me to go first, or you want me to go last? Well, how we want to do this? Because I can talk. I could.
You can.
I mean, yeah. Okay. So I guess I'll go first. So basically how I've been, it's all about for me is being adaptable, right? Especially when it comes to managing your time and whether in undergrad, grad school, currently now in a postdoc, it's all about how you manage your time and how you fit gym. You have to fit gym around your research schedule because your research schedule might change. So for example, in undergrad, I was only going once a week I was a student athlete, so I was going in the mornings to lift because that's my mandatory lift time. So, 6 a.m., 5 a.m., getting up in the morning to go down to the designated athlete gym and lifting. So it was nice to have a designated time. It's very structured in that case. So it was easy. So I didn't have to. People told me where to go, right? But when it came to grad school, so when I got my master's degree down in Georgia State, I did a lot of work that was very labor intensive, right? So what I did was brung all my lifting stuff to work with me. They had a gym on campus. So in the mornings, I'll get there early. In the mornings, I'll do work, and then around noon comes around, because I know people go to lunch around that time. I know the gym isn't going to be that full, and it allowed me to get in, get out without having to wait on items or wait on equipment, because everybody wants to sit there and curl in the squat rack for some reason. And so, I'll lift for like an hour and then come back to work or go back to the lab start an experiment, eat lunch, and then finish off the day. And that just worked for me, you know? It just worked. I took a break in the middle of the day, and it really helped for my mental health, especially because it was it was a break. You need that break in between doing work, whether things are going good or bad. You just need that break. Um, and then when I was getting my PhD, um, the way I did it was it was less labor intensive. I was doing a lot of microscopy work, so there was certain times where I went into the lab. So it was mostly in the mornings. I would get all my microscopy done, all my imaging done, and then after that, I really didn't have anything to do, and it wasn't like I didn't have anybody else in my own lab anyway, so there wasn't anybody to interact with. My advisor was never there, so it wasn't like I had to answer or, speak to him all day. It was nothing like that. So I went home to analyze my data. So what I did, I kind of did something similar to when I was at Georgia State. Did all my research, got all everything that I need to get done, like set up experiments for the next day or for the next week, and then went home, got dressed for the gym, went to the gym, which was a really nice gym. I really missed that gym. But I went, got got my lift out of the way, and then came home and analyzed data. So it's just you have to have a good work-life balance. It's all about balance. I mean, currently I was going to do the same thing that I did in Georgia State, like just halfway through the day, just go to the gym because I heard U Texas has an amazing powerlifting section. So like I can't wait to try that thing out. But right now, COVID, so there's none of that. We're in cohort, so I only get to be in the lab in the mornings, and then they kick us out after that. But it's all good.
So you can't go to the gym?
No, well, I can go to the gym. But I go to a gym that's down the street from me, down the street from my
Oh,
home. Yeah, I go to a Gold's gym that's down the street from my home that doesn't have enough space on the bar for when I need to like max out or something. So, but it's all good.
oh, okay. So the university gym is not open, or
I think it is, but like I don't know if I trust undergrads.
gotcha.
I
Yeah.
There we go.
don't. I don't
Sorry,
know if I.
Trevor.
I know. Come on. What? I didn't want to trust us either, though. So you're good.
I mean, it's Texas. I mean, it's not only that I don't trust undergrads, it's Texas as well.
Texas.
It's
Yeah.
Texas. Like they don't really. Man, I've ran into too many people who don't believe in COVID or that the vaccine is good. All types of craziness.
I'm
Give me.
assuming that bit is going to be edited out of the final podcast.
I mean, we can
Uh,
either way. I mean, I'll send
Problem.
y'all a
The raw
yeah,
and see what it is.
but who would like to go next? Who want to tell us about how you guys do the work gym balance?
I could go next.
All right.
Yeah, as an undergrad, when I was so honestly, I got really ingrained in my schedule that working out was kind of almost like a class because
Mhm.
as my in my undergrad, there was this mandatory requirement that you had to have like 6 credits of physical activity. So it was like I had to take soccer, which I'm not very good at running, and then I took lifting as like one of my classes, and it was like 9 a.m. lifting for like one semester, and that really put into me that okay, I can just fit this into my schedule just along with everything else. And then sometimes I would need to lift at 9 a.m., but then if I had research, I could push it off to like 7 a.m. So it's just all about fitting it into your schedule. But even so, it was kind of like just treating it as a class and treating it as something that I needed to do just along with everything else really helped me put it in to
I
everything
love
that I
that.
do. Yeah. And honestly, and even during quarantine, that helped me out too, because then I had to take classes online that were like 11 a.m. Zoom classes and 1 p.m. Zoom class. And I'm like, I don't want to wake up and roll out of bed to roll to a laptop. So I would like make myself like put myself through this little boot camp there. I'd wake up at 7 a.m., then walk around my apartment complex doing like just push-ups, workouts, whatever I could do to make myself sweat before class. And then I'm like, all right, I'm ready for my day. I had my workout class and now I can go on with my like
Yeah.
real class.
I
Yeah.
love that. It's like you're making it non-negotiable. Like we make I don't know, I was about to say eating breakfast non-negotiable, but some people don't eat breakfast. Like
Yeah.
we make like the meetings that we have with our PIs or our mentors non-negotiable, and I feel like we should also make our time for
Like-
our fitness and our health non-negotiable as well.
Exactly.
Even though our
Couldn't agree
PIs make
better.
that non-negotiable.
Yeah.
They don't want to make.
They make the meetings non-negotiable for us, but we should make physical fitness and health non-negotiable for ourselves.
Exactly that. Yeah, that's great.
So I agree with the making it non-negotiable. I might be at the extreme end, because I noticed, people said lunch, 7 a.m. For me, it's 5 a.m. And the non-negotiable part was that there were literally things that I would not do with like my friends because it would be like put me past my bedtime. And I'm like, because I have to go to the gym in the morning. So I didn't really get into lifting until I was a little bit into my master's. Because when I was an undergrad, I worked full-time, went to school full-time. I literally did not have time to go to the gym. When I was doing my master's, I started to get more free time where I didn't have to work full time because I ended up in my second year getting a fellowship that paid for like my tuition and stuff. So I was able to be good. So by the time I got to my PhD, I had this like set schedule where like go to the gym first, then I would like go to work or go to the lab. So when I did my PhD, I was like, okay, what time does the gym open? All right, it opens at 6 o'clock. All right, so I'm waking up at 5 o'clock, going to the gym, be done by 8, shower, go to the lab, be in the lab from 9 to 5. I'm also, I don't know the agreement, I can't work out after I've eaten. So I always work out fasted. So like I literally have to work out before I eat. Otherwise, like my workouts are just crap. So it was literally me 5:30 at the gym. Even when I transitioned to being a PI, I get up, go to the gym, be there about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then I'm in my office by 9. So the non-negotiable aspect is like, yeah, it's a requirement. Like, I just could not go to the gym. That is literally what got me through my PhD.
I love that mindset so much. This is maybe a slight tangent, but just you telling that your mindset reminds me of, so I've been reading this book. It's like part of like my New Year's resolution kind of thing, called The Daily Stoic, which is like a really popular book. Loads of people have heard of it, and essentially it gives you a daily passage to read that's based in like Stoic philosophy. And the passage that I read this morning was discussing about the kind of like pleasures and temptations that we have in life, like staying up late and going out with our friends instead of prioritizing a workout, or prioritizing like sleep, and maybe indulging in like that massive family pack of Oreos rather than having like some vegetables. The thing that actually becomes the pleasure in life is having control over that and saying no to it. And that's the thing that ends up bringing us most joy and better mental health. Is you might have said no to going out and staying out with your friends, and you're able to go to a workout, but that in itself brings you more pleasure than the thing that you resisted. If that makes sense. I don't know, I'm probably not explaining it very well.
Yeah, and
yeah.
then no one else is at the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, so definitely don't have to worry about any of that. The only thing that was I had some troubles. This happened not only at my university gym, but when I actually switched from my university gym when I was a PhD, because they had like new management that did not allow any overhead lifts.
What?
Even though we had a deadlifting platform, you could not do like snatch and cleans or anything like that. They also didn't allow you to take off your shoes, and they didn't allow gym bags on the gym floor. So I found another gym to go to, and then that one, some of the times were like I was there supposed to be there right when it opened, and they ended up switching who was the opener, because a couple of times he overslept and he wasn't there to open the gym because it was too early in the morning. But so that's also the thing that sucks about being there right when the gym opens, is if you have to wait for someone to open the gym for you. But yeah.
I guess in the middle. I guess in the opposite end of that, where it's like you're able to go, where I kind of adopted my class schedule, where it's like the gym, the middle of the day. You find nobody is in the gym between like the hours of like 11 to 3. Just because everybody has like work, everybody goes to lunch, everybody's doing whatever else in the day. But then it's just like open gym. If you have sun, you have sun. But but it's just not. It's just nice to have the gym open, not at like peak periods again.
Oh yeah, I couldn't lift during peak periods. Peak periods are just you gotta wait for everything, and people are
Or the beginning of the month, beginning of the year.
oh the beginning of the year. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, those New Year's
We would
resolutions.
have lines for our squat racks. Though I did have one time this guy let me cut in front of him because he said that I looked more serious about lifting than he did.
Oh, you look like the real deal. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can go ahead. I was like, cool. But then also had this guy that was really he was next to me, and it was like towards the beginning of the year where I guess he was newer, and then he was like, I am not gonna let this girl outlift me. And I like literally saw every time I up my weight, he would up his weight to the same one. And then we got to 315 and he had to go get him a spotter. And then he did one and then he just left. And I was just like, this is hilarious.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing.
Wow.
I love that.
Little competitions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
annoys the hell out of me though.
So annoying.
What? There's just what dudes in the gym? I mean, dudes in the gym are annoying, but
No, the dudes in the gym that don't want me to outlift them.
Oh man, they better get over it.
That they want to like that they want to like they're like, let me come in, let me touch that. Because even when I was in Detroit in gym, like this one dude, he was like, oh, I'm gonna try it, and then I'm just like, why are you? He's like, I'm not gonna let you outlift me, and I'm like, why? Okay, you gonna hurt yourself.
Right.
And then he gonna ask for my phone number, which is hilarious.
Hey, girl, you real strong.
Yeah, I'm
can I
not
get
gonna
them
let
digits?
Wow, I can't believe that didn't work for him.
No, it did not.
Wow, well, that's so shocking.
Oh man,
Right.
like he had the perfect approach.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. No. Guys in the gym are like I understand when some women be like, man, guys are creepy in the gym because if you lift heavy and I guess if you lift as heavy as I do sometimes, guys are creeping on me too. So like all you see is like dudes from across the gym just staring at you like, oh, is he gonna hit that? Oh snap, okay. Like I was like, bro, like what you looking at? Like, come on, man. And then they'll come up to you and say, hey, bro, man, you strong, bro. You strong, man. And old heads. So I remember when I could do that. You know what I'm saying? My knees won't let me. My knees won't let me right now. But I remember when I could do that. You know what I'm saying? I was lifting up there. Around 400. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool, bro.
But at least you don't get people be like, let me spot you. You sure you can do that?
Yeah.
I mean, I had one guy that it was in our Chicago in the gym that decided that he didn't like me over in the weight section. So like I'm literally at the bench and he like literally is lifting weights right in front of me and then just leaving his weights like right where I'm at. And what made me mad was like other guys saw it and they were like just shaking their head because they saw what he was doing, but none of them checked him.
Wow.
So it's like he was trying to intimidate me to like, that's not my spot. I can't be the only girl in the lifting section.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, well,
people in gym are ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. And to like bring us back to the whole is avoid all we can avoid a lot of these things by like integrating odd times into our schedule, just like putting that 5 a.m. that you hate into your schedule, or just like jumping out in the middle of the day to go to the gym because then nobody's there, nobody wants to talk to you because everybody's like, I have to go back to work, but this is what I'm doing today.
Love it.
I think so. One thing that I used to do during my PhD, so during my PhD, I hadn't quite discovered the beauty that is weightlifting. I was still very like a cardio queen. I look back on that and think ridiculous. I hate running and rowing now. That's a lie. I still love rowing, but running, blech. And in order to kind of like fit it in, I used to do like a 5 or a 10K during my lunch break, like. It's that non-negotiable like flexibility, like I know I need to run at some point today, I'll do it, and I literally just like change in the bathroom at lab, go for my lab was right by like one of the big university parks. So I'd grab one of the technicians in the group who's also a runner and be like, yo, Deepak, we're going for a run. And we'd do like a few loops at the park, come back in, change, crack on with work. And it was just like, it was just a lovely little routine that we had. And also it meant that whilst we were running, because we ran together, we could also have like a little bit of a gossip about people in lab.
Well, that's always fun.
It was so fun.
Love that. Love it.
See, how do you guys work out in the morning? I could never get myself to work out in them. I will work out at 11 o'clock, midnight, at the end of the day.
Those people.
Yes, I'm one of those
I don't
people.
understand people like you.
Yeah, I really don't.
I can't understand
working
people
out
like
doesn't
you.
give you
Like,
energy.
how? No, it wears me down. Like I can get the best night's sleep if I, lift heavy. But if I do that in the morning, my day just drags on and I'm out of energy by, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, get off of work and I have to, finish the rest of my day.
I do think with morning, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I do think with morning workouts, if you go from like never doing morning workouts to suddenly doing morning workouts, those first even few weeks are like death. You do feel like crap because your body's adjusting, right? And I think there's like a little hump that you get over and suddenly it's like, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So you just got to push through that first few weeks.
Yeah, it's like that kind of like runner's wall and stuff. You just got to like
just got to
burn
develop
through
the
it.
habit.
Yeah, even the couple of times that I've haven't worked out, I always do and I do this on Instagram. It takes 21 days to build a habit. So I'll post each day like, okay, day 1, day 2, and by after 3 weeks it gets to the you get used to it. I can tell you, if I don't work out first thing in the morning, I can think of a million reasons to not go to the gym. So I go to the gym, I had to start going to the gym as that being the first thing I've done, because I can always think of something, oh, I ate too soon, and I can still feel like, no, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. Whereas if I do it first thing in the morning, it's already done. I feel like I accomplished something. You don't have to worry about oh, you know what, I can just stay in the lab later and work and not go to the gym. Yeah. Or my friend wants to hang out, because I can still go out with my friends. I just be like, hey, I gotta leave at 9 because my bedtime is at 9:30 because I'm waking up at 5 o'clock.
See, I just made working out ingrained and just because I was an athlete for so long, it kind of became like if I didn't work out, I feel like something was missing in my life, I just couldn't. Yeah, you know what, and you know what's funny, during COVID, at least on the Instagram, I'm pretty sure you guys saw, I posted little workouts that I did at home.
Backpack and books and backpack?
Oh yeah, backpacks and books. That's I have a lot of heavy, I ingrained science into my workout, literally. It was my heavy ass biology, biochemistry, orgo books. Placed them in my back. That backpack is all ripped up now, but placed them in that backpack and just tried to do as many squats. Benching was the hardest thing. Doing arm work was the hardest thing, even though I had a pull-up bar and push-ups. But I tried to do other stuff and try to be creative, but it didn't really work out too well. I broke a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
I ended up doing jump rope challenges. So my former partner, that they were doing 1,000 jump ropes a day. So then I was like, I'll do 500. And it got a little bit easier, and then trying to do running while doing that, and then ended up getting a little bit of stuff from I know all the workout equipment was out, but even that, it was never enough. I got a barbell, but it was only 130 pounds, and so I couldn't really squat because I didn't have a squat rack, but it was too light to do deadlifts. So I'm like, what can I even really do with it?
Weight is the most expensive thing.
Yeah. Or and the thing was, it wasn't the expense, it was the fact that there was nothing left.
It was absolutely nothing. Gone.
So it was all gone. So
once COVID is over, that stuff is going to be cheap. People aren't going to use it anymore. They was like, oh, I'm gonna go back to the, and so now they're going back to the gym. Now if I buy a house here in the next 5 years, man,
Cheap
be
home
rolling.
gym.
Gym.
Oh, I'm buying a
Mhm.
house this summer. I plan on turning the garage into a gym.
Oh man, I'm excited for that. I don't have to talk to nobody in the gym. I'm excited. I'm excited. I love it. But have you guys ever dealt with say any negativity in like the lab from just from other people because you hit the gym or you're healthy or people know that you're healthy, like well what kind of reaction does people get? Because I know like people say, oh, scientists, they're not healthy, or we don't work out, we're frail, we're out of
Well,
shape and all this other stuff.
I have been many a time been called frail throughout my scientific career. Uh,
Where? How?
Braille?
I,
Are you being serious? Or are you being sarcastic?
We gotta know.
yeah, people who will listen to this podcast and hear me talking about me being frail will laugh. But yeah, I've been many times been called frail.
I mean, did you like before you had a growth spurt or something?
I guess like take like 20% of what I am now, like no muscle, and it was just bone underneath and skinny guy.
Oh, okay. So you probably were.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I was not, I attest that I was never actually frail.
Okay, yeah, but you probably looked like you were just probably really skinny. You hadn't grown into,
Yes.
men start a little
Yes.
bit, they get later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Well, wait a minute. No, actually, no. I was at that point. I was like 21. They were just roasting me.
Okay.
Damn.
But no.
Um,
but
So I would say
primarily, it
I've had
kinda- Oh, yeah, go ahead,
issues.
Tamika.
I've had issues with the diet that I choose. So them not so I tend to do low carb. I probably only carb up when I'm doing leg day, but I am not a grad students, everyone said, oh, grad students, they go to the conferences for the pizza and the cookies and all that stuff and just like eat whatever food that's there. I've never been that. I always like bring my own food, and it mainly consists of like meat and veggies. So it was a little like, oh, I'm antisocial, or I don't want to eat the certain, like, you don't eat everybody's food. But also when we would have lab meetings and they would always bring chips or, whatever. And I don't eat them because I'm like, I'm restricting what I eat, or I choose to eat things at a certain time. Like I have time, like carb timing or whatnot. And they never respected my dietary preferences but I always, when it was like my turn, I respected theirs. So like we had people that would be glucose intolerant or can't eat refined, like can't eat sugar. So like I would make pound cake, but I would make it with like, they love my pound cake, but I would make it with like almond flour and honey instead of sugar. So then they can eat it. But then no one ever was like, oh, well, Sam doesn't eat, chips, or she doesn't eat this. Let me get something specific for her. Because like I also don't eat fruit because it's just sugar. It was only until like my last year that they would actually bring me jerky, which I was like, oh, it took 5 years for them to like say, you know what? And I actually had to tell them like, I do eat a certain way because the reason I lift is also for health reasons and having diabetes that runs in my family. So I limit my sugar intake. So if I say I can't eat, they're like, oh, it's just one bag of chips. No, because that one bag of chips sugar is addictive. Right now I'm on a Pop-Tart kick. And yeah.
Oh man, I haven't had Pop-Tarts in years. Okay, sorry.
Don't eat. Well, see, that's the thing. You eat one. I literally just Instacarted, and a part of that I got 2 more boxes of Pop-Tarts that I should not have gotten. But yeah.
See, mine's been Oreos lately. They released the gluten-free Oreos, and my significant other, she's has that intolerance. I tried one of those, and now it's a pack a week almost. It's bad. It's bad.
A week. See, when I do Oreos, they are gone in the day.
I don't know. I still feel bad though. I'm every week I'm out buying another pack.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's
I don't even
just this snort a whole line.
Of course, you have to. I mean, you crush them up and
just go.
Yeah.
Just go.
Is this
I
what
don't-
people eat?
Oh, another thing people always found in my lab. So I've been using the gallon of water. So like they like, oh, there's no reason to drink a gallon of water a day. That I carry around this big gallon of water. Like you don't have to drink that much water. And I'm like, why do you care that
I
I'm
was just about to
drinking?
say, why do people care how much water you're drinking?
People care about a lot of stuff. It's crazy.
100%.
Or they care about like if
Yeah.
if you bring a salad to work, oh, you're eating healthy today.
Okay,
Because
all right.
and it's like they're projecting their guiltiness because they're not eating the salad.
Yeah, I do think when it comes to like navigating like nutrition land in the workplace, I've been very fortunate that like I do have scenarios like you're describing where like our PI will like buy us some things if we're doing like a big group thing together, and like she'll buy some like ordering some sandwiches and cookies and stuff, which is like super appreciated, and I love her for it. It's very thoughtful. But I'm always having to be like, thank you so much, but like I've already got my lunch, like,
Yeah.
and I don't get any like bite back from. I've been very fortunate that people know in the lab, they're like, oh, just like Becky watches what she eats, that's cool, and they're fine with it. But I do think if you do, I have been fortunate, but if you do get those comments from people, it is always from a place of not directed towards you. It's more from like a place of like their own guilt and their own kind of realization that like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be eating this cookie, but oh no, actually I'm gonna eat this cookie, and it's actually they're the one that's got the problem, not me.
Exactly, they do. I mean, it's been interesting. It's an interesting journey because depending on who's in the lab, some people are. I know when I was in undergrad, I worked with other athletes. Weird enough, like not weird, but we can be smart too. But they, they were healthy. They worked out. One girl was on the soccer team. Another person, she ran all the time. Um, when I seen some negativity when I got into my PhD at Howard University. It was really weird because they'll just be like, I was like, oh, I see you eat healthy there. What is that, chicken and rice and veggies, man? What's all this? Like, it's like just all up in my food. I'm just like, hey, bro, like, shoot, this is all I got to eat. Like, let me alone. And then they whenever I leave, I'll just when I leave the school, there's you hitting the gym, you going to the gym. I was like, well, I might be, shoot, or I'm just going home. Like every time I leave doesn't mean I'm like going to the gym. I was like, what? Could just be going out for a walk. I don't know. Like you don't know, but it's always interesting because like later on, like I think maybe a year later, they're all asking me for fitness and health advice. So like when you said like they were projecting their insecurities of their health on you, they really were. They really were. They just knew they didn't know how to ask for help, so they decided to make fun of me instead. But I mean, in those cases, you just gotta kind of just shrug it off and then help them out later on, I guess. But
Yeah, and when
um,
you do get them then later on asking you for like advice or just like a little bit of added motivation, it's wonderful because then during my PhD, there was, like I said, me and like one of the techs, we'd go for runs. After a little while, we had like one of the postdocs would then also come for a run. One of the other postdocs would then come for a run. Sooner or later, we had like 5 or 6 of us that we like had like this little like running club in lab, and it was really great to like see people like start joining in, and we're like, hey, Becky's doing that. I think I can do it too. That's really cool.
Nice. That's dope. I mean, my current PI, he's been asking me for lifting advice, which has been interesting. Because he bought him some dumbbells, like the ones that click. I don't know
The adjustable
adjustable
ones.
Oh
the
yeah.
adjustable ones. Yeah. So he bought him some of those because I can't go all the way up just yet, but I could do like 45, 50 really, a couple times is good. I was like, hey man, that's good, man. He asked me how would he schedule, getting more weight and stuff like that. I had to take him through a whole. I was like, man, I should have charged him, but he pays me, so I don't know. I don't know.
He's probably like, I'm gonna include that in my,
Right,
include
right.
that in.
In the fellowship,
This
I was like,
this 30-minute this is a 30-minute consultation.
Just know that this is subtracted from the 40 hours a week that you're paying me for.
right, exactly. But yeah, man, I mean,
Um,
it's pretty cool though.
so I guess if we were to go back to the topic, just juggling being a scientist, like I know that some people in grad school, especially in grad school, you think that you got to work like 80 hours a week.
Mhm.
And then thinking that, so that's a false and no one works 80 hours a week, but that you got to be in the lab 80 hours a week. So you're like, well, how can I fit in fitness? Or you're thinking that, well, if I'm working out, if I'm dedicated to my fitness, people are not going to think that I'm as serious because they're going to see me taking time doing something else that I could, I'm in the gym every day. I could be doing research. And I'm like, y'all, no, that's not true. But I know at times that even fitness have saved me. Like I have gone to the gym in the middle of the day if I'm like pissed off and I just need to like let off some energy. But like that has probably saved me from getting kicked out of grad school because I had to put my frustration somewhere. So I just had like 2-a-days or whatnot. But don't think of, like, if you're trying to think about how to balance grad school and fitness, don't think that fitness is taken away from being a scientist, that you should never be putting 80 hours a week in.
My
That's
PI
2
quite
full-time
often
jobs.
says, like, you can't pour from a glass half full. So if you're just like in like the trenches for, like, if you say like 80 hours a week, which again, no one should be working 80 hours a week, whether they're a scientist or not, it's just not humanly possible. If you're in the trenches for that many hours, just like grueling, like sacrificing your sleep, sacrificing your nutrition, you're not going to be working at like maximum scientific capacity anyway. Like you're not going to be working very efficiently. You're just not going to be the best scientist that you can because you're going to be exhausted.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, you're just gonna get diminishing returns.
Exactly.
I don't. Yeah. Honestly, everything you guys said, like you can't work 80 hours a week. But so many professors are trying to push that you need to put that extra time in to make your PhD really worth it. To like make your time here really worth it. It's just like, no, you need to put in your effort and you need to like give your best effort, but you shouldn't like grind yourself and grind away other parts of your life just to get it done.
Absolutely not.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
even now that I'm a PI and they're like, I think I was talking to someone and I was like, I work 40, maybe 50 hours a week. And that's maybe. And they're like, don't you think you need to be putting some more time in? And I'm like, if I need to, I don't want tenure. Like if it's gonna take me more than 50 hours a week, I don't want it. And I was like, I did pretty good for my PhD, and I put 40 hours a week in. And they're like, well, having being a PI is different. No, it's not. I'm still the same human. 40 hours. That's what y'all paying me for. 40 hours a week.
That's true. That's
Just
true.
because they improve the position doesn't mean they can all of a sudden just see like, oh, so we're paying you more, so we're just gonna need more of your time.
No, it doesn't mean that I'm working more time. It's just, again, I'm getting paid more for the hour.
Right.
The
Exactly.
quality of work.
Yeah,
Different.
absolutely.
It's
The
just different work.
responsibility, the quality of the work is that much higher now. So damn straight you should be being paid more by the hour.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we should be getting paid more in general,
Period.
but I guess
that's a different.
that's
totally
a
different
whole
podcast.
different thing.
God.
But I mean, I know for me, yes, I go to the gym for my mental health. I go to the gym so I don't punch people in the lab because scientists can be annoying. Scientists can be very, very annoying. There's all types of scientists out there. They're not a
They can be
monolith.
assholes.
Oh my God, they're not a monolith at all. Like they cross the spectrum, right? But also I have some of my best scientific ideas while in between some lifts.
And
I really do.
yeah.
It's really weird. They come out of nowhere. They come out of left field. I don't be thinking about it. My research just pops in my head. I was like, oh, that's a pathway we could we could look into. Let me write that down. Get my phone out, write it down real quick, then get back to the lift, and then go home. I might research it a little bit before when I go to the gym or when I go to the lab in the morning the next day. Then I'll get into it, talk with it with my PI, and it's usually a really good idea. So the gym really helps the brain, that the blood flow to the brain, man. It really helps you think of great ideas.
And yeah, for me, it's second best only to driving. So like if I drive, when I'm driving, I have really ideas. And it's something about doing something that you're not actively thinking, you have those ideas of like, oh, how can I solve this or whatnot? So I totally agree with that.
That's true.
Another thing I do with in between lifts, I answer emails.
Oh,
Interesting.
no,
Yeah.
I cannot do that as
No?
a TA. No. It's like there's too many that would come in, and then it's like, what? Some of you want me to send you you want me to send you a file right now?
No, but it's just like
not one of those emails. Like some,
but like you check your like first thing in the morning, check your emails, flag what maybe you might reply. Some of them might you have to say just got it or yeah, or just seeing whatever you're doing. Like I can like plan my day while I'm at the gym. Like while I'm warming up, like me warming up doesn't that doesn't take, it's not too intensive. So like while I tend to do like a pyramid. So like I start at low weights and then so I get to the high weights where I really, really have to concentrate. But I'll, do those things while warming up.
Super efficient use of your time. I love it.
Yeah. So
Multitasking.
So have you guys ever dealt with, so in the gym, if you lift heavy or you're strong, semi-strong, whatever, I know for me, some people get really, really surprised. So the story, one day I was at the gym and I had my science workout, eat, sleep, repeat shirt on. This guy, random guy walks up to me. I'm finishing up my workout. He was like, so when does the science come in? It's like, when I go to work. Like, what do you mean? He was like, when you go to work. He was like, you're a scientist? I'm like, yeah. He was like, oh, that's really impressive. And people think I'm just this muscle head. And it's always funny when people find out what my occupation is, because they get so surprised. And I think the same thing. On the other hand, when I went to go interview for my postdoc, I people see I'm a large individual, but they don't know exactly how strong I am, right? And then somehow we got on the topic of I'm a power lifter, and they wanted to know how much I actually lifted, and I tell them, their jaws just like hit the floor. And then I was like, all right, well, let me show you videos. I went to my Instagram, showed them videos of my last competition, and they just like, what?
so I actually think powerlifting got me my job right now.
Really?
Because that
What?
conversation, like it helped with one of the, there's a certain person who he also powerlifts, so he's like an older faculty, and during dinner we were talking about that, and when he found out I powerlift and he was asking me how much I weighed, and he's one of those that he's not really open to diversity, but I probably like swayed him and he didn't vote for.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he likes me because I powerlift. And he asked me like, how much can you squat? How much can you bench? He did ask me how much I weighed because he wanted to calculate my WIC score, but somebody else was like, they steered the conversation somewhere else because that's not a conversation you're supposed to ask a candidate.
What is your
How
weight?
inappropriate.
Yeah, so that was because he was trying to calculate my score based on whatnot, but
Yeah.
I was just like,
Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
I think I was like, that definitely was a positive. That
Yeah, for sure.
Good for you.
It can be
also,
a
as far
positive
as at the
part.
gym, you actually talk to people at the gym. Like
No,
I just have
so
this I guess I have this face that people don't approach me, so they've never had to ask me if I'm a doctor or whatnot. Because
what's crazy is I think I have this face that nobody wants to approach, and I come to find out it's completely opposite of what I think. Like I was like, yo, man, I'm just like, because just dealing with the fact that I'm black, I'm just like, okay, nobody's want to come up and talk to me. Like I'm not smiling or anything. I got this kind of a mean mug. I got my headphones in my ear, and I'm just chilling, right? And it never fails. People always want to come up and say something to me. They want advice. They want to talk to me. They want to say, "Hey, man, that's dope that you're lifting this much." And I always think I have this unapproachable face, but turns out I lied to myself. I definitely lied to myself.
See, I'm
We'll be able to
definitely the
see in
complete
the-
opposite. Everyone that knows me, they're like, "Oh, she's a sweetheart. Like she's so nice." But when I first met her, I thought that she was
Oh,
then I was like the evil incarnate. And I'm just like, so I think I just walk around just like I just ignore people. I have soundproof headphones on. I just like when I'm in the gym, I am in the zone. To get my attention, you have to literally be like, hey,
That's exactly what people do though, to try to get my
and but they
attention.
get your attention. They still don't.
Oh man, that's just rude.
That's
Yeah,
what
they
that's
don't get my attention either.
that's exactly what people do, and it's like oh hey, like what's I want to say something to you. I was like, why? Especially the old heads. The old heads are always funny. You know what, I give old heads the time of day because they always say something really funny. Something about them lifting back in the day. It's something about something, and it's always something stupid, but it's funny. And I need those kind of laughs in my life. I
I
need
only
those
get that in
overhead laughs.
one thing. Actually, I only get people approach me when I work out in Detroit. And it just might be a cultural difference. Like most of the gyms I go here, or even when I was in Illinois, mainly white people. But there's more Black dudes that work there, and they will definitely, even the older ones, like they'll be like, oh my God, I've never seen a girl that lift that much. And oh, be careful, you don't want to break anything. You want to make sure you have kids. And well, you don't look like you at least no one thinks I'm on steroids, because I don't look like I'm on steroids. Because they're like, yeah, we can tell when a woman does steroids to like increase their muscle mass or whatnot. I was just like, it's just mind blowing. No.
I don't believe that. I don't know if they can actually tell. Like they think they can. Yeah, they think they can, but they can't. I mean, I've had people try to when I was living in Maryland, that people was trying to give me advice about the gym and how many times a week should I lift, and things like that. And he was like, oh, I only did this once a week, but maybe that's because I was on steroids at the time. And I'm just like, brother, you just confessed to me you was on steroids. I was like, all right, cool. That's
Cool. I'm not.
So I'm gonna go back to lifting now, because this is but it's crazy. But I got a question, Trevor. Like, so being in industry, how does that affect your your fitness life? And do people, or other people, or do you guys talk about fitness while you're at work?
Honestly, the position I am in my own little secluded office. So I rarely get the interaction of people coming, especially with COVID. Now, prior to that, that's a different story. But so I walk in, I can have my meal of whatever I eat. No one's gonna judge. I mean, it's really nice, the area that I'm in. When it comes to the thing that I like about the industry side is I just come in, clock out. Really, work doesn't tend to bleed outside of those hours. I don't know how that, when you're in academia or research, if that is, if you tend to be thinking outside, if your time outside of the lab tends to be, revolve around work or be exposed to that. I mean,
it's
And
I know for me,
I
yeah, I
believe
know,
there is.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
know,
believe there is a lot
yeah.
of bleed over. Like it's in terms of like academia versus industry, there definitely is a lot more bleed over in terms of like the hard stop at the time you start working. You stop working. Like for you, you say you like clock out at 5 p.m. and you're not going to talk about work after 5 p.m.
Yeah,
But
I'm
like,
done.
yeah, but if I leave lab or if I stop doing my project at like 5 p.m., I'll probably still think about it like until later in the night, but then, or like even later into the next day. So it kind of like keeps on moving forward.
I have dreams about my research.
Oh, you dream? Oh, okay, I thought I was the only one. Okay, cool.
No.
Oh, I've 100% had dreams of. I once had a dream that I got like a contamination in my cell culture and woke up in like sheer panic. Like, oh my
That's
God.
a nightmare.
That's
Oh
the,
my
yeah,
God.
that is a
yeah.
Something completely different. My God, I know for me, like when I was in my PhD, right? Like I know there was a whole bunch of bleed over. Like just take my work home with me. But I know once I got into my postdoc, I was like, okay, I need a better work-life balance.
Oh, absolutely agree.
And
100%.
I kind of have I tell myself I have a cutoff. I was okay, when I leave, I'm not going to work on any work. On weekends, it's me time. That's all I got. I mean, I lied to myself quite a bit, but
Right.
but
Like,
but
you'll
it
find
still
yourself
happens.
in a few hours every weekend.
Right. But it's not as bad as when I was getting my degree.
Yeah.
It's not as bad. I actually you know,
But
I
you
bought
also like super sped that one up. So you kind of, in order for you to get done faster.
Yeah, that's true.
what my degree
Yeah, your PhD,
Yeah, you
you
said
got
you
that.
were
in
right.
4 years. It was 4. It
Or I
was
thought
four
you said you did
years.
it in 3.
No, I
But
mean I could have.
okay, but you
So
did it in 4.
And
I
four,
mean, it
yeah,
normally
4 is still
takes
pretty
5.
reasonable. Yeah.
That's still kind of a sped up.
yeah, they said the same thing, and I was just like, what else is there for me to do, sir? And literally, that was the argument. What else is there for me to do? And like, literally, my PI ran out of things for me to do, which was kind of bad. Like, there was stuff to do, but it was like, and then COVID came around. I got out at the perfect time. So that's a whole nother conversation, but I pushed my way through.
Right.
I forced the issue. I really did. I forced them to kind of let me go because
I think a
there
lot of
was
us
nothing
have to do
else.
that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to be assertive in that case. But
I actually had
so
a question kind of going back to this is kind of just a broader question across like school and life in general, but like coffee and caffeine and how you guys like integrate that with your work and the gym. Like, do you guys drink coffee? I guess it's step 1. And
One
then
cup.
like all right, so that's 1. And then
Okay.
like actually, yeah. So like drinking coffee, and then do you use that before your workouts, or do you only use that like for work and to wake up?
so I'm gonna shut up here because I don't actually drink any caffeine.
Okay. Oh, that's
Oh,
an
so
opinion.
you
That's a
okay?
that's a good opinion, honestly.
I drink no caffeine. None.
So you don't do any pre-workouts?
I would do a pre-workout before a competition just because I know I need that energy,
Okay.
just to get through max lifts, all 3 max lifts, because I know I need it. Like there's nothing I can do about getting around it. If I don't, then I will crash by deadlifts, right? But I don't. So there's a few different reasons why I don't drink caffeine. I don't. One, I don't want to be dependent on it. 2, I hate the taste of coffee. I have really sensitive, bitter taste buds. So like I hate the taste of coffee. It just tastes bitter to me. Just tastes
Fair.
completely bitter to me.
Okay. Have
So
you tried coffee with creamer or sugar in it?
everybody,
Here we go.
everybody.
You won't like the taste of coffee. I like the taste of my hazelnut creamer in my coffee.
If I got to do all that just to drink some coffee, it's not worth it.
Okay.
Okay. So then that's like no coffee and no pre-workout.
Yeah,
That's
no,
like
Except
just
for competitions. Okay.
except for
So
I
I
have my my Sour Patch Kids, but whatever.
okay. Yeah, so I do pre-workout in the morning. I always do like a scoop of pre-workout. Now I've been doing Bang. But I just alternate it and just kind of gives me that extra push every morning. And then I do drink 1 cup of coffee. I might sometimes have to have 1 cup of coffee around 1 or 2 o'clock on like if I have on like a really stressful day. So I'm not dependent on. So if I don't work out, I don't have to take a pre-workout. If I'm not having a really intensive like data analysis day, I don't have like that mental work drains you way more than physical work. So I wouldn't necessarily say I'm addicted to coffee. Like I never drink coffee on the weekends. I drink coffee maybe if I'm driving, like if I'm going to Detroit and that's like 11-hour drive, I'll get me some coffee and sip on it as I go through. But even me drinking coffee is never like, oh, I have a cup and I finished it in 3 minutes. I would be just sipping on the coffee as it goes through. And I probably never even finish my cup of coffee, but caffeine is wonderful.
yeah. There's a lot of opinions.
Spoken like
That's why I
an
asked.
addict.
That's why I
Seven
asked.
addicts.
Oh, coffee is wonderful. I gotta have my coffee.
Wonderful.
See, there's
But
like a lot of
I have to have it to work out.
I need it to wake up in the morning, that's for sure. I have a cup of coffee in the morning, and then some days that will be it. Like if I'm like Sam just said, if there's a particular day where it's just solid data analysis or writing like grant applications or something, then I'll probably have another one around noon. But yeah.
Yeah, because when I was a undergrad, I was a nurse assistant, where I was literally on my feet if I did a double, and I could get through that without any caffeine at all. And like that was just like, it was like mindless. You do the task, you're taking care of people, you're cleaning them, feeding them, bathing them, whatnot. And that I don't need caffeine for. My desk, I have a desk job that I have to sit there for 8 hours and read. I need coffee for this. It's crazy. You wouldn't even think that's the case.
I have a 1 cup of coffee, black coffee. I can't have any cream or sugar in it. I just don't do that. It's black coffee. And I'm still working on the 1 cup from this morning. So I'll sip on that throughout the day. And as far as pre-workout goes, I use a vasodilator. Other than that, that's really it, just to get the blood flow going, but no caffeine outside of the 1 cup of coffee a day.
I tried black
Your
coffee.
coffee cold right now.
No, well, I warmed it up before that. It's cold now, but yeah.
I
warmed it up throughout the time.
On a cold
Just cold coffee.
No, I can actually drink cold coffee. That's totally fine.
Really?
Like it, yeah. I mean, have you never had iced coffee? But like, I can definitely drink it.
Iced coffee is different to like a hot coffee that's gone cold.
Especially if it's black. Like, have you had just a solid like iced coffee with like no cream sugar? I mean,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think black coffee is disgusting, especially because like I used to dislike tea, but then I realized that the reason I disliked tea was because I was always like Lipton bag tea. But if you have loose leaf tea and you make sure the water is at the right temperature, I can drink that without sugar, and you actually have a taste to it. Coffee, I tried. I used to be like, I drink coffee with my sugar. Like I would do like 10 packs of sugar, because I used to drink my coffee black with just sugar. But then I would put like 10 packs of coffee and sugar in it, and then a little bit, whatever remaining. And then I slowly got myself down. Because I'm a sugar addict, which is why you just have to keep it away from me. But I can like, even with the creamer, I don't need that much creamer. I just need a little bit of that either vanilla or hazelnut taste. I can't see how people like where it's like really light. Like, no, mine is still like a dark brown.
I don't see how people do it at all, but that's just me.
See, that's like a lot of opinions on, I guess that's like a lot of opinions on caffeine. So it's just like you can use it in a lot of different ways just to wake up. Some people use it for pre, some people don't. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was just curious actually, because I guess I used to drink a lot of coffee, but now I don't drink as much. But as an undergrad, I definitely was kind of like drinking a lot more. And then when I would go to the gym, if I didn't have pre-workout, I would just like sip half of a black coffee before I go, and then I'll be awake for my workout. But then that's just if I didn't want to use pre-workout for a day or two.
I mean, I feel like you become dependent on it. I'm devil's advocate here. Just
okay, but are you dependent on working out? There's some, just pick and choose your dependencies.
Wait.
I think we're all dependent on working out here.
God, I feel like
I agree with like I agree with like 2 out of 3 of the things you just said. I'm not sure which 2.
It's like dependent. It depends on your definition of dependent. I don't know, because people always look at me weird because I tell them, it's like, I don't drink any coffee. I was like, yo, how do you operate? How do you live? And I'm just I wake up, eat breakfast, and go. Like, I don't know what else do you want from me? Like, I drink water. That's
is that it?
That's it.
But again, going back to people projecting, if people are going to judge you for not drinking coffee, it's because they have a deep down realization that they know that they shouldn't be drinking as much as they probably are. So
this is true.
It
could be true. It could be true. But that's
I mean, most of us said just 1 cup, so we're good. There's no true. I know some people that like drink 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day, and that I can see as a
addiction.
Like making my 1 cup of coffee, I feel like it's too much work, so I wouldn't want to make 4 or 5 cups of coffee.
Because probably because it takes you so long, because you're making a really bougie hazelnut latte thing.
Hazelnut latte. What are you making?
No, I'm making a regular cup of coffee, but I have a reusable filter because I am an environmental ecologist. So I don't have the paper filter. So every time I make a cup of coffee, I have to clean the filter out. I can't just pick up a paper thing and throw it away. I actually have to like dump it out and do that. and I just add some creamer to it.
I
But
know.
that's the reason.
I was messing. I
can make a bougie one because the thing I have where I can actually
Solid
froth,
cut.
I can make a latte, I can froth the milk.
Oh,
So I can warm up milk, I can froth it and do that. But that's only when that takes too much time. So I just do regular coffee in a couple of tablespoons. But yeah.
That's great. That's amazing. Okay, guys. I mean, this has been an amazing conversation. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have. What's up?
Yeah, there was just one thing that I thought might be pretty useful just for us to have a quick discussion about. Because by the sounds of it, it sounds like we're all coming from a place where we prioritize our fitness and we love working out. We're kind of already speaking about addicts. We're already like gym addicts.
Addicted.
We enjoy it. But I'm sure loads of people who would listen to something like this are maybe like on a bit of a fitness journey where they're trying to get more into it and they're trying to incorporate it more into their life. And I feel like us maybe giving some advice on how to do that, because I feel like that's very different to just managing science and gym. It's more of a, how do you find that discipline and that motivation?
You are reading my mind. Look at that.
And I actually
that's exactly what I was about to say.
Thinking about that, because I know at the beginning we were talking about like just time management and if we have any tips or how we do things. And I'm just trying to think about to the beginning of my gym journey, because I literally, the thing that really made me start working out was when I found out that I had allergen-induced asthma. So when I had that issue with my cat, so I was like, okay, I need to go to the gym to get my cardio up because I want my lungs to be at better capacity because of that. And then, so I got a gym membership. And one thing I did do was I had already like tried and failed going to the gym and it never happened. So I actually decided to pay for a personal trainer just to hold me accountable. So it was like someone that I meet with them once a week. And just by meeting with them once a week, I could make sure that, you know, and I literally told this, like, I want someone to hold me accountable so you can make sure I've gone the other days of the week that I've gone to, and to show me how to properly do certain exercises. So I actually bought this book on lifting and figured out what exercises I wanted to learn how to use. And I came to them with a list of exercises I wanted to learn how to do properly. It took a while for me to find a trainer that would do that for me. I like went through 4 sections because they wanted to run me through their whole thing. But when I finally found one that showed me how to squat properly, showed me how to deadlift, showed me how to use certain equipment, I was like, that was good. So I learned a few exercises every week. Another thing that I did is I used the Body Space app. So it's from bodybuilding.com. And one thing about this is it also, you make your workouts and it's like a social media for bodybuilding. So you kind of like, you post your workouts and then people are like, hey, yeah, great workout. Or you post your progress and it just allows that. I tried my Fitness Pal. I didn't really get stuck with that. I mean, I didn't really stick with that. I just really like bodybuilding because it also tracks how much weight you lifted. So then I started to get in competitions with myself, was like, okay, last year I lifted 3 million pounds. I want to lift 4 million pounds this year. So I was supposed to lift more this 2020 didn't work out, but I think I'm like 12 million pounds lifted total over my like 8-year career of lifting, with the majority of it over the last couple of years. But if I need to get back into that routine of like tracking my workouts, but even being like, okay, leg day, normally, that's usually the highest one and I can lift like 60 or 70,000. But if I get to one where I'm like, damn, I did 90,000, that's motivation. Let me try to do that again.
Love that.
That's dope. That's dope. I know, especially nowadays, like especially during COVID, it's a little tougher to get into it, or it's easier to have excuses for not going to the gym. Way easier, and it's understandable, especially during this time. I know for me, I think I've always been into lifting or always been into fitness because I've been an athlete all my life: football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, track, all that. As I was growing up and all the way until I got into college, right? Or in college. And it's always been ingrained, but especially for those who are just starting out, because I know I've gotten people into the gym that half the battle is getting there. I know a lot of people is just like, oh, I don't know what to do when I get there. I was like, well, one, have a plan before you go. Talk to one of your, everybody has a exercise friend. Everybody has a fitness friend. Like you do. Everyone, everybody knows who it is. So go to them, ask for some advice. I was like, oh, what should I do? What should I start off with? And there's so much information out there on the internet for you to start off with. You have to start somewhere. You have to lay the foundation. Because I preach this whenever I train people, right? um, when it comes to powerlifting, if you want to build up your totals, you have to lay down this foundation. So you have to lay down this foundation. You just got to get in there and you have to test some things out, see what you like. Do you enjoy cardio? Do you like running more? Do you like lifting weights? What are your fitness goals? And once you have some goals down, then you can put a plan into play to make those goals happen, right? So I think it's hard to start. It's hard to start anything, especially when it's new. But I mean, if you put a plan into place, it's easier to follow. It's easier to follow a recipe than it is to just go into the kitchen and be like, "Huh, I got some chicken here, got some spices here, there's some vegetables over here. I mean, I could do something with it. I could put it together. But if you have a recipe, then you know exactly what to do. So I think it's especially for those just starting out, putting a plan into place and then executing that plan.
I think to add on from having a plan is obviously like step one. If you don't have a plan, then you're not going to reach those goals whatsoever. But I think for me, especially, having a plan, but then allowing yourself like a plus or minus 10% wiggle room on that plan is also really important, because I think a lot of people, they set a plan, and one, they make their plan quite unrealistic to start off with. They go from like, I'm going to go from never exercising to training 6 times a week.
Smart goals.
Yeah, have smart, realistic goals. And so choose to just do twice a week instead to start off with, or even just once a week. Once a week is better than nothing, right? And what happens like so often, right, is that someone will wear, I'm going to work out 3 times a week, and they miss that third. And that them missing that 1/3, they're not kind to themselves about it. So then they just end up falling off the wagon completely. And just, all right, well, I might as well just not go to the gym this week because I missed one last week anyway. And I feel like allowing yourself to have that 10% wiggle room where it's like, okay, I fell off my, like, I diverged from my plan very briefly for a day or two. I'm going to get back on it because I have that plan in place to just get back on it.
I mean, failure always happens, no matter what you do, like gym, life, science, whatever.
You're the most organized person in the world and have every second of your day planned out, but external factors come up and like things that you have no control over. And when they like an experiment fails, or like a Western blot tank breaks, and all of a sudden you need to rerun this Western that you have to present the thing for a meeting on Monday, or for example. So it's like, oh, I need to stay now for an extra 4 hours in lab. Okay, cool. I'll miss the gym, but I'll go tomorrow morning. Or, hey, it's fine. I just will only do 2 workouts this week instead of 3. I'll do 3 next week. It's fine.
Yeah. That's great.
I don't know if with the video if anyone's gonna like see me cringe when you said once a week. And the only reason I did that was because we know with DOMS, delayed onset muscle syndrome, that first, when you do that one workout and then it hurts, if you wait another week, it's gonna hurt. And I was just like, maybe at least twice. So you, because that's like how sometimes when they first start working out, like, oh my God, I'm so sore. And then if you wait too long, you're going to be sore again.
Sorry, yeah. Oh,
and then you're always going to feel like it's a bad thing. But
yeah, but I completely agree that there's probably like a sweet spot where it's like it's not too much you're putting on your plate, but it's like enough to avoid things like that. I just meant it in the sense of like
I know
a little bit is more than nothing, right?
Yeah, I know. And then one thing I was just thinking, like I mentioned this earlier, was it takes 21 days to make a habit.
Yeah.
So if you can do something, and when I say 21 days, doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to the gym 21 days in a row. I happen to go to the gym every single day. I have my light days, my heavy days, and I have like one cardio only day or stretching day. But I try to force myself to physically be in the gym every single day. Mainly because I still wake up at 5 o'clock every morning. So if I'm up, what am I going to do at 5 o'clock in the morning if I'm not going to the gym?
In the morning.
Because I don't need an alarm clock. Like it gets to the grain where you just like, I'm up and
Yeah. Your body just wakes you up.
Yeah, your body just wakes you up. But like if you do that, and if you like do some mechanism of, I mean, unfortunately, we don't like to admit it, but like social media is ingrained in us, even getting likes and like doing this. Oh, it takes 21 days to make a habit. Day 1, day 2, posting a picture, either unless you want to do it of yourself or just in the gym. And that kind of makes you like, damn, if I miss a day, people gonna notice. Let me just, stuff like that. So post it on whatever social media that you're doing. And
It's
that can be like, yeah, accountability, give you some motivation besides because that's another thing, and I don't really like using the word motivation because I'm not always motivated to go to the gym. I wasn't always motivated to do my research, but guess what, we gotta get that. You're not motivated to go to work every day, but you do it because you have to do it.
Yeah.
So don't rely on motivation to get to the gym.
No, never.
I think another thing too that's a good tip is don't compare where you're starting to someone else. Like I'm not gonna walk into the gym and lift 185 and then see Dom over here lifting, I'm assuming substantially more than that, and be like, well, you know what? Tomorrow I'm just gonna throw on 3 more plates, 4, and just start lifting. That's not going to work. I mean, you got to build up to that. Beat yourself every single day, not try to
let go of your ego.
Exactly.
Because you're going to hurt yourself if you don't do that. One thing I thought that it might be helpful for us to talk about, like, what are our actual like goals related to fitness? Like, what is the driving factor for us being in fitness? Because everyone has different goals. Like some of them, you might just want to look good. I know some people are like, my goal is to look good naked, or to be strong, or to, do these. Like, what's people's goals?
It is what it. What's your goals? Kojo, what's up?
Honestly, it's just to be strong, like lift. Like my current goal is just to lift 1,000, like have 1,000-pound total. Then I want to get up, maybe go to powerlifting nationals. Overall, I want to live to be 100 and still be able to lift like past 80. So it's just all about health for me.
That's dope. Becky?
So I mean, there's like multiple reasons, but same, obviously health is a big thing. I don't want to die young. I would quite like to be here for as long as I possibly can, for as long as I can control that, and I can control the amount that I exercise. And like as a woman, strength and resistance training is wonderful for things like avoiding osteoporosis and decreasing inflammation in the body. And as my research looks at inflammation, especially in your gut and what you're putting in your body with regards to food, and then the inflammation in your body where if you have excess fat or if you're not moving enough, can lead to horrible things like Parkinson's and dementia. So I try and avoid that. Don't want to be developing those at any point in my life. But as well, because I basically want to be like, I want to be a boss ass bitch. Like I want to be a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. And that means lifting some heavy weights. Like I pride myself. So like my dad from a very young age always encouraged me to be very independent and like not depend on other people. And even in like the smallest things, like I don't need someone to help me to go get all of my groceries out of my car, because I'm strong and I can do that by myself. And I don't need to go and ask a big strong man to do it for me,
Love it. Trevor, what's up?
I've always been a scrawny kid, so it's just honestly trying to build myself up, make myself a little bigger. I mean, I started out probably about a year ago at about 125, and now I'm at the 150. So I mean, about a year and a half ago. So I mean, just making myself better to extend my health span. I know it's a big word that's being thrown around a lot. Making sure that up to my last moment here, I'm able to fully function and do what live my life without the assistance of somebody else helping me.
Like it. Sam.
I guess I got to answer the question that I said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, definitely health reasons. There's a lot of hereditary things happening in my family, especially with women not living past 50. And I just couldn't reconcile that my life it's definitely my life is what 60% over with. I can't deal with that. And I definitely want to make sure that when I am older, I can still move around and be able to, like, I want that quality of life per se. So that's one thing. I like being strong. I've always been pretty strong. So the fact that I'm able to push myself and get stronger, because I've always been like a bigger girl, even when when I was 16, I worked at Popeyes. And I was the only girl that was the cook. So it was segregated by gender. All the girls or women were cashiers, and all the cooks were men, except for me, because I was the only woman that could pick up the big things of chicken to like use. Like, it was like each case had like 20 chickens in it. And I was the only one that could actually lift that. So those pans. So I've always been strong, but I kind of want to, another thing, like, I focus on strength, but I mean, I also like the look of muscles. And like, people like say they're aiming to look like Beyonce or whatnot. I'm like, I'm aiming to look like Serena.
Oh,
So,
hell yeah.
so yeah.
We all love a Serena. Let's be
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess for me, so it's changed over the years. So like at first it was like a sports thing, and then when I got out of sports, it was something just to keep me active. But there's so many tiers um to my fitness goals, and the reason why I hit the gym. Obviously the mental health aspect, keeping my mind straight. Just because you can there's a lot of annoying things out there, especially in the science world and just in the world in general, and it really helps release that stress. It's a huge stress reliever, but also, I mean, and I want to be the strongest person that I can be, because I've been on some of the biggest stages, competing for powerlifting, right? And it's fun. It's a great time, but I want to be healthy doing it. Some people be running their bodies into the ground, trying to get here, do all sorts of crazy stuff just to get their body strong, and it's just not worth it for me. I just want to be as strong as I can be, as healthy as I can be, and be able to lift and go through life pain free. Because if I'm not doing that, then there's no point of me, uh, lifting as heavy as I do. So like you all said, it's health, quality of life. You want to live a long life. I mean, I see some old heads still lifting. I don't know if you guys are in the powerlifting world. There's this guy named David Ricks who I don't know how old he is. He scares me every time he squats because he shakes a whole bunch when he squats. But man, he's lifting 600-700 pounds, and we're in the same weight class, and I'm just like, how? Just how? Like, so, and he seems relatively healthy. So like, I want to get to that, and it's really just my outlet. It's my outlet outside of the lab, and that's huge for me. Like, just because if you don't get along with people in the lab, you'll at least get along with somebody at the gym. Even though I don't go up to anybody, they come up to me, and that's the only way I make friends. But yeah, that's my motivation. Just to lift heavy weight, stay healthy, live as long as possible, like everybody else. I want to be strong. Who doesn't like to be big and strong? I don't want to be too big to where I can't wipe my ass, but I still still want to be a large individual.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. But so think we're coming down to the end of this. Is there anything else anybody wants to add before we sign off today? No, no, nothing. We good? Hey, hey, listen. I thank everybody, the audience, for joining us for this discussion. It's been a really good one. We had some great laughs, got some great information out there, a wide variety of just information, experiences, and I really enjoyed the conversation. So, hey, listen, join us next time for At the Bench with Scientists Who Live. I'll catch you guys next time.